Today is 1027 day to come here lessons to learning. I hope this will support your dreams. Your goals allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today speak about rejection. Rejection. I think, what are the reasons that you get rejected? I think there's a lot of reasons that you get rejected, but sometimes it's not your fault, or the thing that you're able to influence, but you do not have full control over it. So today we'll share 12 things that why you might be rejected in multiple areas of your life. Of course, I love the saying that rejection sometimes is called protection. Sometimes even though rejection could be the best thing for you, and you need to understand, okay, what I learn from this rejection, what I'm able to see, what kind of lessons I'm gathering from this rejection. So number one is that misalignment of your expectations. It might be that what you are looking for, what you expect to get, you're not able to get it because of your skill sets or your positioning or anything in between. So that means that maybe your expectation, what will happen, what's supposed to happen, it just doesn't work. So misalignment of expectations could lead to really feeling that you are rejected, even though you are directed in something else. So misalignment with your expectations could be like when you are rejected, it's like, what kind of expectations do they had? And when you say, okay, maybe my expectations was not the best, and that's why I feel that maybe I got rejected, even though that's not true. Number two is competition. Competition, like in a business, in work, in relationships, everywhere there is some form of competition. So it means it might be that you rejected because maybe you were second best. Of course, nobody cares about second best. Even though that you were very close, it might be that you got rejected because someone else got the position, someone else got the business, someone else got that place. Now, are we able to become better because of this? Are we able to become better of this? Because so to me, it's, I guess, how are we able to use that rejection? Because a loss of the business theoretically is a rejection. And we need to understand that competition leads always to rejection. And be able to really get better of it, improve it, and do it again. Number three is timing. Timing. It might be that you will be rejected because of timing. Now, even in nature, just timing. Now, if you plant a seed in the middle of winter, most likely that seed will die. That's the wrong time to plant a seed. Exactly the same it could be for the business. Like when you think about real startups, so many great business owners says that timing of the business idea is sometimes much more important than the business idea itself. So many business ideas that was great, but they were out of timing, and of course they failed. Sometimes you put exactly the same idea in a different timing and you succeed. So timing is very, very important. So it might be that you ask when you fail, when you get rejected, say, did I do in the right timing? It might be that that's the wrong timing to really for the idea that you want. Even in relations, could be a wrong timing for the person. Number four is a lack of experience and skills. Sometimes that's the easiest to understand. So if you got rejected, it could be that you have a sales job and you get rejected, saying no. Of course, we understand that a lot of times you can do perfect job, but still will say no. Will still get no, and you get rejected. But at the same time, we're able to really develop the skills, develop knowledge, develop experience, just to make sure that we have less and less rejections. So it means when we're able to say, like, I got rejection because of my skill set, because that person didn't need it. Like, what was the reason? It might be that you will find that skill set was the main reason that you got rejected. And that's a great thing. That's great news, because it means that you're able to improve, and if you improve, you're able to next time not get rejected. Number five is cultural or value differences. It might be that you will be rejected by the community, by people, by something, because there's a differences in values. And I think that this is one of the great things, that you rejected by some kind of community because of your values. And if your values are different, that's a great thing. Go and find a community that aligns with your values, with your aspirations, with the things that you want to pursue. I think that we need to reject other people as well. Reject people who are negative, reject people who are sabotaging our success, reject people who are putting rocks or stones in our wheels. and stops us from really going after the things we want. So it might be that you might be rejected by those people, and you, because they will feel that they are challenged by you. So that means we understand that sometimes value difference will lead to rejection, and that's a great thing. Number 6 is personal biases. That means that it could be conscious or unconscious. Some people just prefer different people for different reasons. It might be that you will be rejected for no any other reason, just because of the personal bias. And I think that is very, very important to understand that where this is coming from. And I think this is probably one hard to understand when you got rejected because of personal bias. Now, of course, it could happen that you know that exactly that this is the main reason. But again, knowing that it's a personal bias, that's supposed to give you a freedom, because this is the external thing. This is out of control thing, and we know what to do with out of control things. Forget about it, and focus on things that you're able to control. Number 7 is miscommunication. You got rejected because you miscommunicated. I think that is very, very, very common. I think that is very, very common that people get rejected because of miscommunication. It gets rejected in a lot of different areas. Conflict resolution, rejected. Sales, rejected. Maybe asking to a date, rejected. Like, there's so many things that in life could be rejected, like asking for money for a business idea, rejected. And miscommunication is the key aspect of rejection. So I think that we always need to really work very, very hard to improve communication. It doesn't matter who you are, what you work, what you pursue. Communication is essential in life. And I think that this is one of the main reasons why we get rejected. Number 8 is not a good fit. Maybe that's the main reason that you got rejected. This is supposed to be freeing as well. That it just was not a fit, and that's it. You're not able to put a square in a round place. It just doesn't fit. And we need to understand that, like, did I actually fit in this position? Did I actually fit in this business? Did I actually fit for this person? And if there's no fit, there's no rejection. Just there's no fit. I think sometimes we say that it's a rejection, even though this is not rejection. It just was not a fit. And sometimes you need to call it by your actual names, and it's not a rejection. It just was not a fit. Number 9 is overqualification. That means that maybe you are overqualified for that community. Maybe you are overqualified for that job. Maybe you are overqualified for that business. I don't know what it is. Maybe you're overqualified for that relation. Overqualified is sometimes not just that you know more. Maybe you just think differently. And thinking differently is sometimes overqualified. Because, of course, if you have different values as well, this is overqualified. I always say that overqualification is that a lot of times thinking differently, caring about different things is overqualification, because you overly focusing on something, other things that other people do not. And they do underqualify in certain things. And it could be, of course, easily that you could be rejected for work because you actually overqualified. You actually feel that you have so much experiences for such a low-end position, and the person who is hiring you feel that you will not stay because you already have much more knowledge than you're applying for. And that means maybe you need to really have more confidence to go after the bigger goals, bigger pursuits. Number 10 is external factors. That means that it might be that there's a lot of things that you got rejected for external reasons, that you never have any control over it. And of course, we don't have any control of other people actions, other people opinions. We don't have any control over the market. Now we have control over the actions and how we change our paths, because we have that vision for the future. We'll never get rejected on the vision. And we'll never get rejected on the person you want to become. We might be rejected on the path. We might be rejected on the path that how we thought we'll get to the vision. But it means our vision is not rejected because the path was rejected. There are so many paths to the vision. And I think it's very, very key understanding that external factors will cut that path. It's out of our control. But to be able to really build a new path, we find a new path and really look for a new path and really go on after that big vision that we have set for ourselves. Number 11 is fear of commitment or fear of change. I think that a lot of times we get rejected, and sometimes even companies. You work in a company, you have amazing idea to implement in that company. They could potentially make more money because of that idea. But because some people have done the same thing over and over and over again, fear of change will reject your idea. That means your idea is amazing. It's the best idea ever. But it might be there will be some people who are fear of change and they will not implement that idea. So then as you understand that rejection doesn't mean that your idea is bad. Sometimes rejection means that people are fearful. Fearful needs truly encouragement. People need to overcome their fear of change to make sure that they're able to implement your idea. So there's a lot of different aspects. And the last one, number 12, is past experiences. It might be that you got rejected only because a person already had bad experiences and they put you in the same bucket. Now, let's say that a person really wanted to improve their communication and they purchased a communication coach. But that coach didn't know how to help people. They didn't know how to help this specific person and they wasted money and they didn't get any better in communication. So what it means that next time it will go out, that person will go out looking for communication coach, and it might be that he will be much, much more skeptical for coaches because it might be that we'll put all the coaches in one bucket, people who do not give results. But that's not the case. That's not the case because that's the experience, past experience sometimes dictates what kind of things we start to believe. And I know that it's quite challenging sometimes to really rewrite past experiences, and we're supposed to always give two chances for different people because we're not supposed to attach one experience with one person, how actually that industry looks like. And that means it might be that you are a coach and you were rejected by a person, but not because you're doing a bad job, not because you miscommunicated, but that's probably part of miscommunication because you didn't help a person to overcome their fear. But of course, this is just an influence on the person rather than really having control over it. But again, might be rejected because of that person's past experience. I mean, you understand that rejection, just a small part is controlled by you. Majority of parts, 80-90% is controlled by other person. And when you understand that, we're able to put our best foot to get those 20%. But those 20% is very important. If you don't manage those 20%, those other 80% doesn't matter. But if you're able to control our side, 20%, those 80% other person who control, of course, it will be massive influence. But you need to understand it. Rejection is, even though it's hurtful, but there's so much more to learn from rejection than from success. So I hope that you reflect as well. When was the last time you got rejected and for what reason? And if you don't get rejected, that means that you're not pursuing anything meaningful in life. That's just totally true. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.